like the proverbial leaves of the coconut tree, which gets harder rather than softer. The security situation in Nigeria continues to fester rather than abating. Two attacks by terrorists on the convoy of advanced team of President Muhammadu Buhari and the Medium Security Custodial Centre in Abuja are clear signs that things are degenerating. The Islamic State in West Africa province has claimed responsibility for the attack on Kuje Custodial Centre, where about 879 inmates, including 64 Boko Haram terrorists, were freed. The group confirmed this in a 38-second video they released online. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari, who visited the scene to assess the level of damage, expressed disappointments with the intelligence gathering system at the Medium Security Custodial Centre. Let's share this story with you. All right, we'll be back to that package. But then let's start our discussion, Dari. When you heard these stories, two major critical issues, what came to your mind?
Nigeria is on. We've been saying this for quite surprisingly. People in and out still believe bandits. Local insurgents. It's severally. It is beyond that already. And the earlier we come to that realization, the better for all of us. Take a look at what happened. The criminals, as I prefer to call them, the terrorists, went after the president. This explanation that it is the advanced team, it is the whatever team, no longer holds water. The president's name is obvious in the report. And it could have been the real thing, could have been the real convoy of Mr. President. Going after the advanced team is a way of sending signals that this is the extent to which we can go. For me, as saddening as the incident was, it was also something I find quite instructional, in the sense that now danger has actually knocked on the door of Asorok in faraway Katsina. That's the president's hometown. That's the president's home state. And when, in 2023, after May 29, he will have to go back home. What are his options? Stay in Abuja and continue life, go to Kaduna, where he was living before he became president, or retire home to Daura in Katsina. Let's take a look at these three locations as of today. Kaduna is unsafe, under constant attack by so-called bandits, terrorists, insurgents, kidnappers. Katsina, we saw what happened there. On a daily basis, we hear stories of kidnap, cattle rustling, banditry, name it, robbery in Katsina. Various parts of the state, from Dosama to Jibia to Kankia to Daura, Malumfashi, Bakori, name it. Every aspect of that state is under siege. Every part. Now come to Abuja, the seat of power, where we felt that there has been some respite for some time. Kuje Correctional Centre, in the heart of the city, was attacked. And you see, when I read the report...
And in a place where Nigerians consider to be the safest.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. I read the report that said the security forces repelled, and I got angry. If you repelled, how are the prisoners freed? If you repelled, how come all the gates, all the fences are down? It took away, and the Ministry of Defense came out to tell us, that all Boko Haram detainees in that correctional center are gone. So what did we repel?
All right, Ari, now we understand that jailbreak is not a peculiar thing to Nigeria. It's a global phenomenon. But with the rate it happens here in Nigeria, how disturbing should this get for us?
It is disturbing. Not too long ago, we had your war, jailbreak. And jailbreak in practically all known places where some of these Boko Haram detainees are. It is enough. And that's why, you see, I felt some sort of relief when Mr. President said, finally, that he's disappointed with the level of intelligence gathering. I felt, oh, perhaps it will take some things to happen for some things to give. Because something must just give. For Mr. President to know that intelligence gathering is poor, is almost non-existent, then it's good for us.
All right, but it is interesting to see that President Muhammadu Buhari has moved on from being shocked to now being disappointed.
Yes, he cannot forever be shocked.
Okay, but 24 hours later, no one has been held responsible. We've not seen any litany of resignations yet.
But 24 hours later, you heard that ISWAP is responsible for the jailbreak. And this is Nigeria. This is not UK. It's not America. It's not some far, far, far away country. Okay. This is Nigeria, our fatherland. If you are waiting for somebody to resign, you wait for much longer. Because the truth of the matter is, even we are not seeing that anything happened. That's the bad aspect of it. It's like we are coming to accept our fate. We
have actually accepted.
Oh, we have accepted that these things are the norm. It happens. But otherwise, I think there should be some inquest into what happened. And if you talk too much now, they will tell you, yes, an inquest is already ongoing. But ask the question, what happened to the inquest into other jailbreaks? You don't heard anything. There was a jailbreak in Kogi. There was one in Ondo. There was one in Nimo. And you see, all over the place, you have these things months after, because I know what was in May or April or thereabout, months after. You are yet to even see a report that says this was how the breach was committed. Or this, and this should be held responsible for the breach in terms of surveillance, readiness to repel such things and all that. But you don't get such things. It is because you don't get such things, criminals are emboldened to make their move. Because if you get reports, if you conduct inquest, you will go after some inside connivances.
Dari, let's not forget that Kuje Correctional Centre is considered to be the most fortified of all prison facilities in Nigeria.
Okay. Now, these people have simply told you that none of your facilities is fortified for us. Stop arresting our men because we'll come and free them. And in the process of freeing them, we can kill some of your own people. That's it. So you have a situation where they tell you we will get our men. They've been saying that videos upon videos. They release videos and threaten that we are going to free our men when we are ready, and they succeed in doing it. And we still claim to have some form of security apparatus. When we are daily embarrassed by the people, some officers who prefer to call ragtag armies. These ragtag armies daily embarrass us. They daily show the world that Nigeria probably does not even have an army or any form of a security system in place. We pride ourselves in the fact that they are bandits, they are insurgents, and they are not to be taken with too much seriousness. These are terrorists. When this afternoon I saw the video by Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, claiming responsibility. So what else do we need to be told that we are under attack as a country? What else do we need to be told that the sovereignty of this country is being threatened?
Absolutely.
Well, the ISWAP is not a group of Nigerian insurgents. It is not. It's a group of international terrorists from various countries of this world gathered into a nest of criminality. with some, of course, some of their members now being Nigerians. So that is a case of a foreign attack. We're being attacked. Our territory is being invaded by foreigners, aided by some locals. That is a declaration of war. And until we take it as such, if we continue this cat and mouse relationship with terrorists, they will sit pretty. When they sit very, very pretty, you know, when a visitor comes into your house first, you sit on the edge of the chair. After a while, he relax. Then after a while, he looks for where your bed is. The moment the visitor the kitchen, the bedroom, and lies down comfortably, then you know you are in trouble. When they finish sitting pretty, they will make more devilish and dangerous moves. And we are all not going to be happy about it.
All right, these guys are out there. How terrible or how dangerous is this for us, considering the fact that we have 8 months elections?
See, we shouldn't even be talking about the threat this poses to election. We should be talking about the threat it poses to us as a people. As a people. If Abuja can be attacked in the manner we saw, any part of this country can be attacked. That's a message. And I'm sure that's the message they also want to send across. We thought we've seen the worst, and we thought that things are returning gradually to normal. See, when you no longer see such brazen invasions. If the city of power can be invaded in such manner, then we are back to the very worst of times. All
right, Dari, we'll be back. But let's quickly take Tony from London. Hello, Tony.
Yeah, please. This is. I'm surprised that this happened, but you have Nigerian policemen and the army as well. How come these people did not were unable to meet them when they were doing all this? Or nobody knows the number of time or minutes or hours they did this. They were unable to catch them.
All right, thank you, Tony, for your contribution. Larry, I want us to talk about the statements that have come out from former Interior Minister Abdurrahman Dambazao. He said he raised some issues regarding personnel, attitude to work, and welfare at a time when he visited Kuje Prison, and nothing was done. Who exactly is not doing his or her job?
That's a former Interior Minister.
And he said he made this reservations to the president.
Recommendations, as it were. And he left office, at least I'm sure, well over 3-4 years ago. We're still talking about the same situation, the same threat, the correctional facilities. What this simply means is that if a minister is at the top of the ministry concerned with taking care of these breaches or these threats, if he is complaining that he made recommendations and nothing was done, the same question I would want to ask is the one you ask.
All right,
who should be doing something?
All right, we'll talk about this more when we come back from this break. Welcome back. You're watching Journalist Hangout. And I have in the studio with me Olabisi Deji Folutile. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so before you came into the studio, we were talking about the Kuje Prison attack and the attack on President Buhari's advance team. How shocked or disappointed was this for you?
Well, was I shocked? No, because we know that going by the way things were going, we were likely to get to that point. You get it? And mind you, that won't be the first time that the might of the presidency was being tested. Remember, I think about 2 years ago when, during this Salah period too, that students were abducted in Katsina school. Prior to the president's visit, about 400 students were abducted at that time. And also remember that about 4 or so years ago, we had a security breach, even in Nassau Rock, inside Nassau Rock itself.
I remember. Where
there were shootings in Nassau Rock. So a lot of things has been happening in the past that will make you to know that someday, probably even the president himself may face attack from these terrorists. And remember the way they talk, their boast. I mean, they talk as if they are even the commander-in-chief of the Nigeria's armed forces. They give us commandments, they give us directions, they give us orders. So it's not really too shocking. And as for the prison jailbreaks, I think we've had 19 between 2015 and 2022. So we've been having it Owerri. There was a jailbreak in Oyo. There was one, you know. So we've been having all of that, and they've been proceeding in doing whatever they wanted to do. So it didn't really come as a shock, but I want to also acknowledge that it was indeed a sad day for Nigeria. That though some people will tell us that, well, for Nigeria it could be a sad day, but for people in Katsina, for people in Niger, for people in Zamfara, it's like any other day, because that is what they probably go through every other day.
Probably used to.
Exactly. So it's sad. It does not take away the sadness from the event. The fact that one is not shocked does not take away the sadness. It does not take away the embarrassment. It does not also take away the fact that Nigerians are now more like hopeless.
All right. Dari, before we went on that break, we were talking about former Interior Minister Abdurrahman Dambazao's reservations, recommendations to the president regarding how Kuje Prison looks like, the lackadaisical attitude of personnel on ground, security issues, but nothing has been done. I was asking Dari that question before we went on. I would like you to continue.
Yeah, like I said, that's the question on everyone's lips.
And I'm particularly concerned because if a person of this nature had made this issues out there.
We're saying that a serving ministers at that time saw the breaches, the threats to the correctional facility. They look, if we don't put this in place, remove this, take care of this, we are likely to be heading jailbreaks. And 4 or so years after he left office, we are confirming by incidents and testimonials that these things were not taken care of. The question remains, who should be taking care of those things? If a minister is not telling us why I was in office, I made recommendations to who? Must we always
he to the president.
edge towards wanting to centralize things that we have elected or appointed people to take care of? I'm not going to sympathize with Dambazao on that, and I'll tell you why. If you are given an assignment or a position, and you discover that while in that office, you are unable to function, why don't you cry out? I don't expect that it's the president that will go to the correctional facilities and fix these things. The Ministry of Interior will still have to do it. You saw it, you made recommendations about it, it was not done, you left it that way, you moved on. Another minister has been in office for how many years now? So you mean to tell me he has not seen those threats? Is unaware of those breaches. It shows that in Nigeria, our political office holders, appointees and elected, do soldier go, soldier come. And they are not actually interested in getting the job done. They just go there to enjoy the perks of office.
All right, Olariwaju, before we continue this discussion, let's have Olariwaju from Lagos.
As I said.
Hello, Olariwaju.
Thank you. Good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This government should stop kidding us. A Nigerian soldier that I know that went to Ekwueme, settled matter in Ekwueme, such a soldier now is not more active. A strike deal for almost 3 hours. Nigeria Air Force is there. This government is, they are kidding us. Something is there. Something is there. They are just killing the soldiers. They are killing Nigeria. This government should look at the UK today. a former number one, the whole world, resign voluntarily for a certain little thing. And this government of the Buhari of a thing, until...
Thank you very much, Olariwaju. Thank you for your contribution. Now, Olabisi, let me come to you. And this is me going back to what Darius said about if Abdurrahman Dambazao saw all of these breaches and did not do anything about it, despite the fact that he said he reported to the president, and the next minister is there, saw the breaches also and didn't do anything about it. This brings to fore the silence culture in Nigeria.
Well, I would like to disagree a bit with Dari on that, because as a minister, your own is to actually make recommendations. He does not have the power to implement without finance, and it doesn't also have the power to generate that required funds for whatever needs to be done at the correctional facilities. So we cannot really heap all the blame on him. We should at least acknowledge the fact that he at least he saw and he reported. And like we say, the buck stops on the desk of the president. The president is the one that should give directive as to what funds should be released for the implementation of that. Now, let's even leave that aside. The current minister, we also tell you that he also made some recommendations, which include interdisciplinary security forces being maintained at the facility after the jailbreak at Oyo. Now, there are supposed to be military people there. There are supposed to be different kinds of security people on ground. But when this thing happened, we were also told that the military, the soldiers that were on ground, 33 of them, suddenly disappeared. Yeah. You know, shortly before that thing took place, and that the other people the other security officers also took cover. Perhaps the only people that stayed back were the NDDC, whatever people that, you know, one of them got killed and all of that. Then let's even look at the arms and ammunition that is even available to the people on ground that are meant to secure that facility. How good are they? Because we need to be asking ourselves, how is it that people that use motorcycles now overpower a nation that is supposed to have helicopters and different kinds of high-powered weapons or machineries that can be used to curb things like this? So, for me, I think it's just a reflection of the lackadaisical attitude of Nigerian leaders. I don't think from top to bottom, I don't think we really care, because like he also said, if the minister was that concerned and bothered, he should have kept on bringing it up and making it to be on the front burner. He didn't do that. He just did like, I've done my own, whatever is done. So the art is not there. You can't practice this in developed countries. See what happened to Boris Johnson now. How he was just removed. Like, as of yesterday, he thought he could still escape. But look at him today. They just told him point blank, you cannot continue. And he had to resign.
All right, now let's quickly talk about the response time. We always have issues with response to emergency, quick response to emergency in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's a product of the same ill we complain about, where the values we place on life, values we place on service. It's still talking about this ministerial issue, or whatever it takes. You take something as your job and you see it as what's doing. You make prompt responses when the need arises.
And you got it jealously.
But you have a situation where I want to use the word allege anyway. The soldiers allegedly fled. The policemen were said to be nowhere to be found. But that's the job of these people as at that time. Go there, guide that place. So if you see an invasion, are you supposed to disappear?
All right, so could this have been, I do apologize, could this have been as a result of terrible welfare?
See, look, maybe my approach to these things, if I have a job and the welfare is not good, I'll leave the job. I won't stay on that job, and because of terrible welfare, in quote, jettison the safety of other people that I'm saddled with protecting. It is not tenable. Such excuses are not acceptable. It's just the same thing as talking about what the former minister said. It goes beyond just recommendation for a minister. He's also in charge of implementation of approved projects. Let me explain this.
All right.
We, of course, she mentioned the issue of Aregbesola, talking about the recommendations he made. He didn't just talk about it after he left office. He's saying it now, he's still in office. He also took it to the Federal Executive Council, where it was discussed, presented for, so that he can get permission of Mr. President to go on. And there are some of the recommendations that are within his purview as a sitting minister. He already started implementing them. We didn't get to see this kind of thing. That's what I mean by the minister could have done more. Take it to the FEC, let's see it discussed. Let all of us know that the Federal Executive Council did not approve this. So that, okay, if he's talking about it today, he will be saying, I took it to the Federal Executive Council, it was turned down, or it was not addressed. You, as somebody who is identifying a problem, to make enough effort, not just to satisfy yourself, but to ensure that tomorrow some people's lives are not in danger. Look at inmates. They committed an offense. They were sent to a correctional center. Now they are dead. 4. Because the country failed them. Even in prison, Nigeria happened to them.
All right, Dari, let's quickly take Simeon from Lagos. Hello, Simeon.
Good evening, girl.
Good evening.
Good evening, please. You see, the problem we are having in this country is that the leaders are not sincere. If our president says that he is not aware of what is happening now, what are we to do? If you go to GRA Ikeja here, you will see soldiers doing nothing. About police will be on a building, doing nothing there. If you go to Southeast, you see soldiers, many doing nothing. So they might take point, making money. Because if you say their soldiers are that to prison, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe they put about 2 or 3 soldiers to mine there. That's why this will overpower them. Where are our soldiers? Where are they? They are just somewhere, some foreign house and wasting time there. They put them at Southeast because they're killing people there for nothing. But where they need them, you won't see them there.
All right, thank you very much, Simeon. Olabisi, let me come to you. What would have ever made us put some of these very dangerous people, because Boko Haram terrorists are considered the dangerous criminals on earth now. What would have made us put this kind of guys in the same prison with politically sentenced thieves, or sentenced political thieves, as it is?
Well, that's the way we roll now. We just do our own thing, and we do it the way we want to do it. Although I know that even within the same facility, there will be different sections for art criminals and maybe civil criminals, like the politically, the political thieves and all of that. I know there are different sessions. Yeah, for them, even within the same facility, they don't put them together. They don't put them together, even though they are all in Kuje Prison, but they won't be together. That's the way the prison operates. Yeah. But that not even withstanding, with people like Boko Haram, I think we should have a special facility for them that will be well fortified, well protected, and that you know that whatever is required to ensure 24/7 surveillance in such in place will be available so that you can, like the president was saying, that how could this have happened? What happened to information gathering, intelligence gathering? He was even asking about the tower. What did he call it? Is it strong? I don't know the tower. The
watchtower.
The watchtower. So which means that somebody should be on the watchtower if there is anything like that. So if we have these hardened criminals like Boko Haram, but let's ask ourselves again, do we really consider these terrorists as hardened? Or do we just feel that they are
bandits?
They are bandits that maybe we should treat them, we should forgive them, we should even sympathize with them and understand their problems
and eventually rehabilitate them and marry wives for them.
So that is the point. So how are we thinking? So the way we are thinking is what is determining the way we are treating them.
Absolutely.
And there was a video online, I think a few days back. I think Governor El-Rufai spoke in that video sometimes back, and they started replaying it after this event, where the governor was saying that it is not possible for any terrorist to repent. That repentance and terrorists, they are too different. Their minds are apart. That is not possible. That in any case, if any one of them wants to repent, it's better for that one to go and repent in heaven or in hell with his maker. That it is not right to grant, pardon for any terrorist, because they will still go back. That until they die, you cannot be sure that these ones are not a threat to the society.
All right, guys. Before we go on, let's take Dr. Emeka from Surulere.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've always followed this program. It's so disheartening that this administration that we really, really campaigned for, we were at the vanguard. We spent our money calling on these journalist hangouts, calling on the Chief Yuri's programs, spend our money going around campaigning, even outside Nigeria. We have been really, 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 really disappointed. We can't even talk. There is no way you stand anywhere and speak about this government that anybody will take you seriously. As it stands right now, we are terribly ashamed. In fact, we are short of words that this is happening to someone that went through war college, that this is happening under the watch of a general. Where is the body language? Where is the guts? Where is the aura? Where is that glory of a general? I don't even know what to say. This is horrible. It looks like a conspiracy. In fact, I am...
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Emeka. Thank you for your contribution. All right, Dari, now, how are we sure? Because there is so much uncertainty going around. How are we sure that these Boko Haram guys who have escaped would definitely be recaptured? Let's remember that the ones from Jos, the ones from Jos, they have not been recaptured up to now. No, because I go by the words of the defense minister.
Your optimism is such that it is infectious. And you're making me feel that I should just believe you. Anyway, let me tell you, this is Nigeria. The Boko Haram guys obviously were the targets of the invaders. They came for them. Hit them. They're not going to go to Gavi Park or Bagwarada bus stop and wait to be recaptured. They're not going to do that. They're going to go as far as they can go for now. Then they're going to get rekindled and reintegrated back into criminality. These are not small boy insurgents. These are some of their commanders that we lost many lives, soldiers, to capture. The number of Nigerian army officers killed by some of these people in the process of ending this insurgency, in the process of capturing these ones, you cannot begin to imagine. But with just one snap of the finger. We lost them back to continue with insurgency and criminality and terrorism. So it is not going to be an easy task. Hoping, even mere hoping that they will be recaptured is not an easy task. How much more capturing them in the real sense of it. This is because it is now dawning on all of us that we are not dealing with a ragtag army. We are dealing with organized terrorism. ISWAP.
Banditry.
See, we continue to use those words: kidnappers, bandits, cattle rustlers, insurgents. We are only simplifying the danger, which ordinarily we should maximize. We should let the world know the trouble we are in. ISWAP is a combination of fighters from Libya, renegades from other parts of northern Africa, some runaway mercenaries from Syria, name it, coming together to form a deadly network of criminality. Right. And now that organization has claimed responsibility for an attack so close home to our seat of power.
All right, guys, we need to really round off on this. But before we go, what exactly is happening with the national intelligence?
What is happening to them? Because it's as if they are not in existence. Now, at least, happenings have proved that we have not really seen their...
Quite ineffective.
They have been ineffective. I don't know, because I don't think that this attack was planned in a day. It couldn't have been. More so when there have been demands in the past, specific demands for the release of these Boko Haram commanders in our prisons. There have been specific...
Even as conditions for releasing kidnapped
victims. So it cannot be something that was planned within hours. But apparently, we can't just find our intelligence anywhere. And this is very sad.
Oh, Dari.
Well, all said and done, we've lost another chance to rid the world of criminals. We've lost another chance to prove to the world that we are capable of securing our own territory. Because such an invasion smacks of failure of everything that we can call intelligence in Nigeria. And I'm glad Mr. President said so.
All right.